We've quickly delved into range of cells versus formatted tables, creating calculated columns. So let's go into structured referencing, we'll do some aggregations and calculations, and we will get the data set for this from this link here, right? Which is from our website. We just released a new tutorial in Power Query, rather, which is a tool that you can find available in Excel and Power BI. So I'll go to that link. I'll go to that link and I'll share all this, and I'll just simply download the data set. So yeah, I wasn't entirely, truthful, right? Because we're actually going to do a little bit more than tables here. We're actually going to do use Power Query within Excel. So bear with me. So this is the data set that you will download, enable editing. Okay, so it's essentially it's essentially a data set on fuel prices in Nigeria across all states, including the FCT, right? Including the FCT, I would say Federal Capital Territory for Abuja here, including the FCT. From January 2016, there was a break in the reporting of the data, and then the jump to March 2017, and then all the way to December 2019. So for you to quickly appreciate the importance of Power Query, I'm going to use, for you to appreciate the importance of Power Query, I'm going to work on this data set. And the first thing I'm going to do is, so you can see, you have like 37 items, 36 states, including the Federal Capital Territory, and you have monthly data, right, going all the way. So you have 35 months of data. Now, for you to be able to analyze this properly, you need to ensure that you have your state somewhere here. You have also your date, right? A single column of date, and then the fuel prices also in a single column. And this is where Power Query helps. And before I discovered Power Query, I actually used to do this manually within Excel for some reason, but thank God for growth. All right, so I'll highlight the entire thing. I'll highlight the entire thing, and the entire range of cells. So this isn't a table at the moment. This isn't an Excel table, and you can easily tell because once I'm within, or I've highlighted the range of cells, there's no table option or table design option. Okay, that done, and I will go to the data tab over here. Excuse me. I'll go to the data tab over here, and under the get and transform data, I will click on from table/range. So I'll click on from table/range. Yes, my table has headers. I'll click OK. And we have brought the data into this Power Query editor within Excel, right? So the first thing that we're going to do is to run an operation or a transformation called unpivoting, right? Which is essentially, right, taking this entire data set, this entire row of data, columns of data, and turning it into just one single or two rows, two columns of data. I'll show you how that works now. So I will unpivot everything but the state column. So I'll highlight this, go to transform. I'll go to transform. Okay, highlight everything, then go to transform, and you see this option here. If your Power Query editor is minimized, it's actually minimized as well. But if it's maximized, as you can see, then it becomes much clearer. You have unpivot columns, and then you have extra options. So under the extra options, you have unpivot columns, unpivot other columns, unpivot only selected columns. What is relevant in this case, right, is to unpivot the other columns, right? So I'm highlighting state, and then I'm instructing Power Query to unpivot everything but state. So let me show you how that works. I click on this, and boom, look at that. We have essentially transformed the entire thing, right, from multiple columns of data into just 2 columns of data that is telling us or giving us a good that's giving us a much structured, a better structured data set that we can even use to create charts, line charts, especially since we have our date on this single column. Now, within Power Query, you can change the data types, and then you need to be very watchful of your data types. For instance, this is text, so this will be formatted as text, which it already is, as you can see, ABC. This one is meant to be a date, so you can change it to date, but then you need to be very careful. So
Toby, there are 2 questions on the chat there. The first one says from Adewale, can this unpivot operation be done on all Excel version or the latest version?
So from my understanding, you need to have from Excel 2016 upwards, and especially if you're on the Office 365, you would have this option as well.
Okay, Patrick wants to know if this unpivot can be done in native Excel as opposed to Power Query.
In what, sorry?
Native Excel as opposed to Power Query.
If you don't have, the updated version of Excel, you would not have this Power Query inbuilt. Yeah. So you need to have the latest version of Excel, or have Office 365 to be able to access this. And some of the formulas that I'm going to show you today as well, like the XLOOKUP, you need as well to have Office 365 before you can access some of these modern calculations available within Excel. All right then.